Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long. So happy you're here. Glad that you could join us as we talk, well, what else? Travel, right? Our experiences, trips around the world. I'm here with my co-explorer, as always, Amy.
Hi.
As always, you can find us at unscaledtravelshow.com for all of our past episodes and guest interviews. We got a great show for you. We're going to take our show down to the beautiful Texas Gulf Coast, one of the areas that we kind of grew up visiting when we were young. We grew up in Texas, obviously, and we're talking about the Gulf Coast capital, Corpus Christi, Texas.
Right. It's where everyone from our area, if you wanted to go to a beautiful beach for spring break or summer, you went down to Corpus.
Yeah. Because our area did not. I know. I would start the show by talking trash, right? That's how you know it's going to be a really good show here today. Our area, we just didn't have the kind of pristine beaches that you picture whenever you think about going to the beach.
Right. We grew up with beaches 20 minutes from us, but no one got in the water at those beaches. You may go and hang out on the sand. Mm-hmm. People would go and stay at the beach, but you never got in the water.
Or if you did.
I never did.
I mean, if you did, you were kind of flammable afterwards.
It was very muddy, kind of murky looking beach water.
I mean, where the Gulf of Mexico is and how the currents work and the side of the Mississippi River, if you look at the U.S., it all kicks up like dirt and sand from the bottom, and it creates a murkier water. It's not like the crystal clear waters you'll find in Florida and those kind of places. So you had to travel a little bit farther down to get a little bit away from the Gulf of Mexico currents that really kind of muck it all up. And Corpus Christi is one of those places. Now, a lot of people know its more famous counterpart of South Padre Island.
Right.
South Padre is very popular with spring breakers, college kids, and even just travelers in general. It's a beautiful place. It's more built up commercially than the northern part of Padre Island, which is actually the part of Corpus Christi that we'll talk about. But it is a very popular spot, but it's not actually around Corpus Christi. Padre Island is like 100 miles long.
Oh, really? I didn't realize it was that big.
It's a very long island, or they call it like a barrier island sometimes. But it's 100 miles long, so we're talking about like the North 60, which is actually home to a beautiful nature preserve where it's completely unobstructed by any commercial development. I think there are a couple of ranger stations and a couple of visitor stations, but beyond that, you won't find any other buildings out there. You can do some wonderful like beach camping and different things like that, and you will need a four-wheel drive vehicle because the road ends at one point, and you have like 17 miles of unpaved roads that you have to get through and sand to get over and everything else. So
that's one of the things about Corpus Christi that I found out recently was there's a big effort there on conservation and nature preserves and wildlife preserve. And I love that. I love that there are people out there who are still trying to keep us in touch with nature and not completely just destroy everything to put up another condo or strip mall or fast food chain. Yeah,
absolutely. And it is a big talking point. It is a big focus of a lot of things that they do in Corpus is nature conservation. They have a really good thing going between the businesses and the locals and, I guess Mother Earth, and they do have a lot of things, we'll end up talking about that really kind of make it that focus. So, as we get into it, though, a little background on Corpus Christi, the first European known visitors to that area go all the way back to 1519.
Oh, wow.
The Spaniard Alonso Alvarez de Pineda, yes. Alvarez de Pineda traveled to the bay, and they were in there on the day of the religious festival called the Feast of Corpus Christi, which a lot of folks think that's where the name came from, but the area wasn't called that for another few hundred years. But it kind of stretches back to where when they went there, they didn't see any obvious signs of life. They didn't even see like natives or indigenous folks or anything like that. But there were over time, they found more evidence, but it wasn't obvious. So they didn't have like an active settlement in that area. And it changed hands a lot between Mexico and the United States during their clashes during the 1800s.
As most of Texas did
Most
for
of Texas
a
did.
while.
Texas, California, Arizona, all disputed lands for a very long time. But the name was officially given in 1847, and the town was settled a few years before that. So it's one of the oldest towns in Texas, and kind of stretches along the Gulf Coast there of how old the town is and things like that. So it's a very, very well established place. The population picked up for over a very quick time, and then I think around 1930, oil was discovered in the area. So after that, the population kind of boomed.
Well, of course. Yeah.
And it has a deep bay for, good port and everything. So a lot of people, you'll find a lot of sailboats out there and a lot of barges and bigger ships through the port of Corpus Christi come through there. So it's a very big and active port. Always has been. Even during, I think, the Civil War, it was a well-defended port because of everything that was going on there. And it's also the birthplace of Juneteenth.
Is it?
It is. It was the last place in Texas, or I think the South, to hear about the end of the war. And so they celebrate,
Interesting.
Juneteenth and everything.
I know sometimes you think when you give the history of a place that it's boring, but I find it very fascinating. I'll be honest. Occasionally you do. Occasionally you do kind of ramble a little, but when you keep it very succinct and give me 5 bullet points, I'm like, that's really cool to know. Okay, now we can move on. But
it's usually when your eyes glass over that I'm like, I am losing. If I'm losing you, I'm definitely losing other people. But it's so fascinating to me, the history of places, right? And especially ones like this that go back hundreds of years in their founding and everything of their first beginning. They used to call it the old Indian trading grounds for years and years. That's how Mexico and the U.S. knew it. And you had a lot of former and future presidents that eventually stopped through there, like Zachary Taylor, who was like a commander in the U.S. Army back then, and they had the forts and they were doing things with Mexico and stuff. So it was known back then. Oh, I lost her. She just started staring out a window.
I'm just laughing because now you're going off on one of those tangents. Oh, you just
gave me permission. You gave me permission. So, anyway.
But I do think, I didn't know a lot of the history of Corpus Christi. I just knew it from our youth as this is where everybody went if they wanted to go to the beach.
Yeah.
And now hearing it, I've realized it does have a lot of historical significance to the state of Texas, which regardless from where you live in the entire world, you're probably familiar with a little bit of Texas, but maybe we're giving you some history you did not know.
Yeah. It is one of those areas in Texas that actually has deep roots with people that originate from Mexico. You'll find a lot of lines of families from Mexico that have, at some point or another set down roots there. So a lot of their culture is based in the Latin community and everything wonderful that goes along with that. So you see it reflected in their festivities, in their food, in their people.
My favorite food of all.
Dynamic.
Tex-Mex.
I'm so happy. I recently got to go down there on a press trip and really get to see the city more and deeper beyond just the beaches that we know and grew up with. But we are going to talk about those too. But I'm so happy when I do get to go on these press trips because it's a lot of fun to see a different side of a city. Got to see a very artistic side of Corpus Christi and just kind of meet a lot of the people that honestly go back generations and see how they're thriving and seeing what they're doing and improving in the city. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the iconic beaches, some of the famous people, where to stay, where to eat, all kinds of stuff, right? Keep it right here. It's the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. We're coming to you from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. I'm Jeremy Long here with my co-host and co-explorer, Amy.
Hi.
We're talking about beautiful Corpus Christi, Texas, or like most people in Texas, and especially locals call it, just Corpus. Mm-hmm. Corpus Christi is a lot to say all the time, especially if you're in a show. But Corpus is first and foremost. I went on a press trip recently to Corpus, and I mentioned that just a little while ago. But during that time, I went with Matador Network, courtesy of them and their Matador Creators segment of their company or whatever. But I appreciate that, and thank you so much to them for inviting me along to do that. And when you're on these assignments, I have that journalism background. I love to talk to people about why they like the community, why they stayed in the places that they, grew up in. Because a lot of people like to leave. We left, but some people stay. And I was talking to my shuttle driver, who's bringing me from the airport to the hotel, and I said, "So tell me about Corpus. Why do you like it? What's it all about to you?" And she matter of factly said, "Corpus Christi it's the beaches, then everything else." And I was like, you know what? That is it's pretty straightforward. And a lot of the things that you'll see when you look it up, if you go to Google and put in Corpus Christi, the first things that usually pop up are the beaches.
Well, I didn't realize that it had good surfing conditions. Like, you don't think about, oh, I'm going to go surfing in Texas. That's not something you think about. Mm-hmm. But if you go on visitcorpuschristi.com, one of the main things it talks about is their beaches and the great surfing conditions there.
Yeah.
So, and they have multiple beaches you can surf at. Some do require parking permits, others don't, but there's multiple places to go surfing or just hang out at the beach. But something else that I found interesting, we were talking about Padre Island and how big it is, but I just saw on visitcorpuschristi.com, Padre Island is actually the longest barrier island in the world. I had no idea.
I didn't know it was the longest one.
That's what it says right here. World's longest barrier island is at Corpus Christi.
Oh, well, there you go. Look at you dropping facts.
I know.
It's not just me.
That's usually you.
I know, right? So, I mean, given that, Texas has a few really interesting laws. Beaches are considered public land, so there's no private ownership of beaches in Texas. You can drive on most beaches. They're considered, I don't know if they're considered roads, but vehicles are allowed. And there's only a few places that you have to get a special parking permit or driving permit or anything else. But most beaches, you'll find vehicles, which is different than a lot of places. Like Florida's having an issue right now. My friend John lives near the beautiful 30A, near Seaside and Freeport and Destin. And it's beautiful, and it's like those white sugary sand beaches that you probably see in magazines and things like that. But more and more private citizens and companies are buying up beaches and restricting access from the public. Right. So it's giving the public very small beaches, very small access to where they can even enjoy the sand and the water. So there's a huge fight going on, not only in Florida, but in a lot of places like that. And whichever side of that debate you were on, I know California struggled with it in the past. You're finally seeing some public land open back up that developers and other people have kind of cut off from them. So it's good to see that Texas is kind of a little bit opposite of that, saying, "Oh, you know what? The beaches belong to the people, and everyone else just has to deal with it." Saying that, they do have some wonderful beaches. You have McGee Beach and Whitecap and North Beach. And we've mentioned Padre Island National Seashore, so I'll come back to that. That's a mouthful right there.
It is.
And JP Luby and North Backery Beach, which are kind of the same thing. But the two I want to talk about, though, are the Padre Island National Seashore. Jeez, I cannot say that. And the Mustang Island State Park. Mm-hmm. A couple years ago, I did write an article for Matador Network, and it was included in Mustang Island was included in one of the best state parks, best places to camp primitive camp on the beach is Mustang Island. It has really good conditions for setting up camp. You can have a small fire. You know, you can drive out there, and some places you do need a 4x4 to get out there. But there and Padre Island National Seashore, you can primitive camp, which is good because there's also not a lot of places that you can bring a tent, set it up, you know, build a fire for the night, and like just camp out under the stars
so many rules
on the
and
beach.
restrictions everywhere. There's just not a lot of freedom to do these types of things anymore.
Yeah. And have you ever camped on the beach?
Not like that.
Okay.
Growing up, my grandparents had a very small camper, like the pull behind a truck. That you know, you crank the handle and the top rises.
Those are the ones that are always filled with like spiders.
Yes,
because you don't touch it for like 3 years.
Yes, it was in their garage. It was always filled with spiders. But they had the little pop-up trailer, and then eventually they bought a bigger one. So they would let my dad pull the pop-up, and they would pull the bigger trailer. But we would go. There were a couple of beaches along the Gulf Coast that we would go, and they had campgrounds that you could park these little trailers at and camp. So I have camped near a beach, but not technically on the sandy part of the beach.
It is such a wonderful experience. I mean, because you have the water right there and just the crashing of the waves. I mean, number one, you figure out real quick, like don't camp near the water because high tides and
you'll wake up wet.
Yes, and you'll wake up with crabs. But you know, it is different. It's different than going out to the woods or anything else like that. And a lot of people actually prefer it.
I love the beach.
It's it's like a unwritten rule of like, you don't get too close to other people unless you absolutely have to. So you're mainly out there by yourself or, you know, your group. And it's just you're under the stars and you're the waves. And like on occasion you have the gulls. I don't know. What are they? I was going to say they're barking. Do gulls? What do they do?
I don't know the correct
cluck?
term.
Are they chickens? I don't know what it is they do, but they're like doing that and all of that. You know, so it's a really fun experience.
I think another really cool experience on Padre Island's National Seashore is they do turtle releases. So every summer, turtles' eggs are they're in the sand and they are hatched, and they have basically the thing where you can watch the turtles make their little way over to the water. I mean, if you go on the Corpus Christi website, there's all kinds of information on it. But this is something, it says thousands of sea turtles every single year are nested and hatched on the beach there and make their way to the water. That's something you have to see.
And you get to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing. Like there's no set time throughout the year, and they just, whatever the turtles start laying their eggs, that's when they alert the public that there's something that's going to happen. But you can play an active part in it, and we'll get to that too. We're going to have fun, man. I'm telling you, this is a really interesting show. It's a really interesting city. So keep it right here. We're talking about Corpus Christi, Texas, all the fun you can have along the Texas Gulf Coast. It's the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. We're coming to you from beautiful Las Vegas, in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. I'm Jeremy Long here with my co-host, Amy Long.
Hello.
We're talking all about Corpus Christi, the Gulf Coast capital. I'm just blown away by that. Corpus Christi actually, has this deep history, has all these wonderful places. You don't realize how many famous people have called Corpus Christi home, born and raised.
Right.
Or at least born.
Yeah.
There, a lot of them, some of them moved off, things like that. And probably the most well-known is we'll get into a little bit later about the museum you can check out. But Selena, superstar Tejano singer, and her impact there. She wasn't born in Corpus. In fact, she was born not too far away in Freeport, Texas.
Right.
But her
It's not
family relocated there when they were younger, and that's where her dad and her siblings kind of kicked off their musical career. And the city still loves her to this day, rightly so. Her music really changed the world and impacted a lot of people. But there's other people as well. One that passed that I think affected a different generation, especially men,
we'll be honest here.
is Farrah Fawcett.
Right.
Farrah Fawcett was born and raised in Corpus Christi. She went to high school, I think at Ray High School in Corpus Christi.
You know, I didn't know she was from Corpus Christi. I had no idea until
I knew she was a Texas girl.
I knew she was from Texas, but
Yeah.
I did not know because, you know, being from Texas, we always feel a certain amount of pride when you find out someone famous is from your state.
Yeah.
But where we grew up, a lot of athletes are from near where we are, and a lot of country singers. But you don't get a ton of actresses. And then find out somebody on the scale of Farrah Fawcett was from Texas, but from Corpus Christi. That was interesting to find out.
It's super interesting. So if you ever watch like Charlie's Angels, or if you had a poster on your wall and you're a man of a certain age, it was Farrah. And the women modeled their hair,
Yes.
you know, it's feathered and lethal and just beautiful and just everywhere. The lovely and talented Farrah Fawcett was Corpus Christi. More recently, if you were like a fan of Supergirl, the show that was just on, you know, I think the CW, is it still called the CW? Okay.
Well, it was when the show was on.
Oops. An actor by the name of Jeremy Jordan was born and raised there in Corpus. Probably the one that surprised me the most. I knew she was a Texas girl, but I did not know she was from Corpus. Is Eva Longoria.
Right. Another.
Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
So many different shows. But Eva Longoria, I did not know that.
No, I knew she was from Texas, but not Corpus. So that's, I mean, and it's not a huge city. So I'm very curious what they're doing in the drama clubs at the high schools down there to cultivate so many big names in acting.
I was really, just kind of blown away by that one. I was like, oh, really? I did not know that. Nearby, and I think it's maybe just a couple hours north of Corpus Christi, so it's not really in that vicinity. But if you're a pro wrestling fan, Steve Austin.
Oh.
Steve Austin grew up around Victoria, Texas. So I know he spent plenty of time in Corpus. And in fact, if you watch any of his videos on TikTok or YouTube, he mentions Corpus quite often. So, there you go for for pro wrestling. But even the baseball player David Freese, who was born in Corpus, but actually kind of grew up around St. Louis, but he won a world championship and a World Series MVP with the St. Louis Cardinals. So if you're an American baseball fan, you know David Freese, and he was born in Corpus, as well as if you follow NASCAR.
This seems like a very American sport. So.
NASCAR is, I am talking now to a certain demographic of people, and I love you. You are my people.
They may not listen to this show, though.
Yeah, no, they probably don't. They're probably listening to Rush Limbaugh. So I don't know. But Terry and Bobby Labonte, they were born and raised in NASCAR. They are superstars in that sport. They won, I know, sprint cups and things of that nature. So champions born and raised there. And it is amazing that so many different and varied people that would go on to be world famous came from this. I think Roger Krager, actually. He's a Texas country singer.
Oh, okay.
But he was born and raised in Corpus as well. So a lot of good stuff from the arts and from sports.
Right.
Along the Gulf Coast.
Right. I mean, like we said, we know there's a lot of people from the Houston area and even from the area where we grew up, but I wasn't aware so many famous people were from Corpus Christi. It makes me look at it a little bit differently. And it's weird how that happens when you think you know a town and then you find out, oh, this famous person grew up there, and now you kind of want to see it the way they saw it.
Yeah. You kind of want to see it through their eyes and what did they see and experience? And that's the crazy thing. It's like Corpus, especially over the last couple of decades has really gone under this like transformation. For years, and our tour guide was actually telling us this. She's been around Corpus since I think the 70s. And she was like, right into the 90s, right when Selena was blowing up and everything. Corpus was kind of, people didn't want people to go to Corpus. They didn't want visitors. They were a quiet seaside town, and they did not really cater. I mean, it's not like they were, running people out of town or anything like that. I don't want people to get confused. But they didn't have like a marketing effort to get people to come visit. If people found them and they came to the beach, that's fine. But they really kind of kept to themselves, and that's the way they liked it. They wanted a nice, quiet existence. And over the last couple of decades, word's out.
Right.
Like people love going to this area because of how multifaceted it really is. It's not just one thing anymore. It's not just the beaches,
Right.
which are the beaches. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about them and everything, but it's not just those couple of things. Now it has so many different offerings to cater to people, but it's a natural catering. It's not like how sometimes here in Vegas we get a little, okay, what are we doing this for, really?
Right.
It comes naturally for these folks down here. So we're going to talk more. We're talking everything Corpus Christi, including the food, right? We're going to talk about the food a little bit later. It's the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm here with my co-host, Amy Long.
Hi.
By the way, I'm Jeremy. We're coming to you from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios, talking all about Corpus Christi. We're glad you're writing all this down. I know you are. Wherever you are, you're writing all this good information down. There's going to be a quiz on it later, especially after this. Like we noticed in between the show, like in between the segments, you were like, there's a ton of festivals.
Right.
These folks celebrate. It's seemingly like a festival every weekend.
And I love it. I miss living in small town Texas where we did have annual festivals, and our annual festivals were big, but they were only like once a year. We would have one, and then the neighboring town would have one. Corpus Christi seems to have a festival almost every week. And I am there for it. I love a town that knows how to celebrate.
Yeah. And they have some really wildly popular ones. Their biggest one is probably Dia de los Muertos, which is Day of the Dead. They do it every year, and it grew from a very small street festival to now, I think last estimates they were telling me, almost 40,000 people.
Wow.
Come to this festival, which is only a day of a festival.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's not even multiple days or anything like that, but it is hugely popular. It is incredibly fun. They, go down there, get your face painted up, and just they have music and all of these things, but it's really a celebration of this side of Mexican culture and history and everything. And it looks amazing. I want to be a part of it.
I'm looking at pictures right now, and I am thinking we may need to go down there.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's one day. It's from 3 p.m. to midnight, but it looks like it takes over the entire downtown area.
The entire downtown area comes to life for Dia de los Muertos, and it is probably the festival that they are known for. I did mention they do have art walk and music walk and a ton of other festivals, but this is the flagship. This is the one that they kind of hang their hat on, and for good reason. It's so much fun, and I want to be a part of it.
I do too.
I want to dress up.
I think we have to go down there. Yeah. I'm looking at more details on the visitcorpuschristi.com site, and the more I look at it, I'm thinking, I know you were just in Corpus Christi, but we may need to go back next month.
I love that Texas has some really great festivals. They have underrated festivals. They have the big one, which is the Texas State Festival. They have it, I think, around Dallas. And is it travel?
The state fair?
Yeah, the state fair.
Yes, it does travel.
So in Houston, and it used to come through Beaumont, Texas, where we are from. So it's huge, and hundreds of thousands of people attend this big thing. And then there's other ones like the Poteet Strawberry Festival, which is in Poteet, Texas, and they have some of the best strawberries in the entire world.
Love them.
100,000 people come to this festival, and it's spread out though over a couple of days. So, and then they have this one in Corpus, and then they have like the chili cook-off in Terlingua, which is outside of Big Bend National Park.
I think we need to do an episode just on Texas festivals because there are
You
so
could.
many.
You could do an entire episode of this. I guess that's our mission now. Now we got to hit some festivals.
But this particular festival in Corpus is only 38. It's next month, basically. So I think we need to get over there. End of October, right before Halloween for those of us in the U.S. But it looks fantastic. It looks like so much fun. And again, the food, amazing. You have to go down there and eat.
They also have one called Surftoberfest. So if you can't make it to Germany for Oktoberfest, don't worry. Corpus has combined the 200-year-old German tradition of Oktoberfest with surfing. Surftoberfest.
'Cause that seems very safe.
I don't know if they actually do surfing. I don't know. It's just called Surftoberfest, but could you imagine getting smashed and then going out to like trying to stay upright on a board? But all the local breweries, tons of entertainment. They have a Stein holding competition. The Stein are the big mugs that they put the beer in and everything. So they have competitions where that's good. They have some great photos on their website, but German food, all of that nature. And people, I don't think people realize how deep of like German and Polish and Czechoslovakian like roots are in Texas.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of towns, especially in these more like hill country of Texas, more around Austin and those kind of areas, have a lot of German heritage.
Yes.
And you'll see it reflected in the names. You'll see it reflected in the people and the foods and things like that. So you'll often find some really great Oktoberfest festivities throughout the state during that time. So it's good to see that Corpus has one too.
I'm very curious about this beer stein holding contest. So they just fill it with beer and you have to hold it? Like who holds it the longest wins?
Is that it?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I thought you stacked them or something.
No. Oh, I don't know.
I didn't read far enough.
Maybe it's multiple things.
Maybe it is. Maybe we'll start our own. When we start stacking steins of beer, there people will be like, "What the hell are these people doing?"
And then we're gonna go get on surfboards. Maybe you stack the steins on the surfboards.
You smash those beers, and then you grab a surfboard, and it's like hang 10, bro.
This does not seem safe at all.
No, we're gonna make this happen. And they also have like film commission competitions and film festivals, and so like
multiple music
there are
festivals.
so many music festivals and things.
Yeah.
I love towns that just love to get out, which kind of reflects the weather. The weather there is really, really beautiful. Yes, they are on the coast, and yes, Texas does have access to a lot of hurricanes. Sometimes.
At certain times of the year.
At certain times of the year. You do have to be aware if you're traveling there, okay? But they do have beautiful weather. It's right there on the water. It's so gorgeous. So it makes for a lot of fun to get out and experience some of these. I mean, anytime you go year-round, if you go visit this area, you're more than likely, it's kind of like New Orleans in that aspect.
Right.
You're more than likely going to run into a festival or one that's just going to pop up around you.
Right. I mean, I'm looking at their festival page. They have fun runs. They have biking competition, festivals. So it's like a bike race, but it's also a festival. They have movie or film festivals, as you were saying. Lots of music festivals, even just big family park days. So lots of stuff going on in Corpus Christi.
Grab them bad kids, go out to the park. Corpus Christi. All right, so let's go travel show. We'll be right back.
Unskilled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Gosh, clock didn't start. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unskilled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, your host, here with my co-host, Amy Long.
Hi.
We're coming to you from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. We're talking about Corpus Christi, Texas, all the fun you can have in the Gulf Coast capital. That's what they call it. That's its
Really?
nickname there.
I did not know that.
Now you do. Look at
Now
that.
I
Look at you
do.
getting wrinkles in your brain today. We were chatting about Corpus and a little bit of its background and history, some of its iconic beaches, but if you're traveling there, I guess the things that you want to focus on are the places, where are some of the great places to eat and what are the things to do?
Right.
If you go during the wintertime, maybe you don't want to go to the beach or whatever, what is there to do? What is there to see? I'm going to kick it off here. I went on this trip. So I have to go from recent memory, but one of the best places to have breakfast is one of the only Mexican places downtown, which is crazy when you think about Corpus Christi's roots in Mexican culture and everything else, that it's the only place downtown to like grab a real Mexican breakfast, and it's called Frida's. Named, of course, after Frida, the Mexican artist.
Yeah.
And kind of, it has some of her self-portraits blown up on their walls and everything. So it's kind of an homage to her. But if you go there, I recommend the barbacoa breakfast platter.
Well, that already sounds amazing, and I don't even know what else is on it.
Barbacoa is a meat. It's slow cooked. It's incredibly tender. They serve it with like potatoes and beans and fresh warm tortillas. And I'm telling you, I don't know.
You're making me hungry.
I think you go there.
I love barbacoa. I've never had it for breakfast,
And
but
you eat breakfast, and then you go home and you take a nap.
I'll eat barbacoa for breakfast.
I'll eat it anytime, around the clock. Name the place and the time. Go to Frida's downtown and you get it. Well, we go on vacation, when you go out, where do you like to go? What kind of food do you like?
I like to eat whatever is the local cuisine. So if we're somewhere that the cuisine is something that we don't have a lot of outside of that, or it's known, like for instance, Miami is kind of known for Cuban cuisine. I want to eat Cuban food the whole time we're there. So, when we're in Texas or we're near Mexico, I want to eat their version of Mexican food because Mexican food is not the same everywhere you go. A lot of people don't know that, but it is not the same.
Yeah.
So I want to try that area's Mexican food when I'm near Mexico.
And if you've never traveled to Texas, you're in for a treat because we have two versions. We have authentic Mexican, which is wonderful and delicious and just everything I love. And then you have Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex has quickly become the favorite dining experience for our nation, believe it or not. It's surpassed, what did it surpass? I have to look it up. But it's become the number one thing, and it was born in San Antonio, Texas, and quickly spread everywhere. And it's because it uses more combination of cheeses, spices, chilies, things of this nature. So you're starting to see it pop up, not only here in the U.S. and across the United States, but also across the world.
Right.
There's the fun couple of British guys. They have a YouTube channel that's very popular.
Yeah.
And they go around and they've hit Texas a number of times trying the barbecue, which of course, we could do an entire show on Texas barbecue. But they also started trying like Tex-Mex for the first time. And those guys are so funny with it.
Is it Jason Josh or something?
Something like that. And I'm sorry, I don't know their names straight off my head there, but their reactions are so funny too.
I did see one where they went into a Tex-Mex place and they were talking about all the decor in there because there were all the colorful flags and everything. And then they were trying like what we call a wet burrito, a burrito that's covered in queso. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. It's wonderful.
It kills me that a lot of people don't know what queso is either.
I know. Even here in Vegas, where we have a lot of Mexican food, traditional Mexican food does not have queso. We've tried to order it, and they just bring you a
cup
of
cheese.
shredded cheese.
They're like, here, we're not warming
It
this
is
up.
basically a cheese sauce.
Yeah.
That they cover a burrito with instead of using enchilada sauce, something like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's its own food group.
Yes, it is.
It is its own food group, and it's one of the things I miss about Texas so much. Another place, especially where you'll find some really good combinations of Tex-Mex and authentic Mexican places, food, is El Camino. El Camino is relatively new in the downtown area. I think it's only been open the last couple of years. We went there for our brunch, and oh my God, the portions at this brunch are huge. And you're going to find some great combinations. And this is the one where the head chef is from Compton in California, but he grew up, he saw a listing for a Texas, needing a Texas chef, and he threw in and was like, let's do it, man. And he walked right in and is making the place his own. And he's got some incredible help down there, but he has this chicken and waffles. I know it's not authentic Mexican food. I know I didn't segue that the best, but he's got these chicken and waffles. Boy, make you want to slap your mama. I'm telling you, that's good. Make you want to slap some people down the street, man. It was so good. I was like, I want to take this home with me. That's how good it was. But the other foods, I don't know where I was going with that, man. Man, I'm hungry. I'm just staring at the screen now. I'm just hungry.
You're wiping drool off the side of your mouth.
What is wrong with me?
He's literally wiping drool off the side of his mouth.
But the entire area in downtown Corpus is so wonderfully made up. You have places like El Camino and the Oyster Club down there, which has been around for a while. It is a staple in that area. So if you want like fresh seafood, boom, you're in a coastal town. They have a lot of pride in their seafood options. But the Executive Surf Shop was one of the first places. Going back to my shuttle driver, she's the one. She was like, "Hey, you want a good place to hang out? Here's some music. Grab a drink." The Executive Surf Shop.
And what do you always say? If you want to know where to go,
talk to your drivers.
Talk to your driver.
They know. They're dropping people off. They know the area. They know the hot spots. And they have a wealth of information. And they love to tell you. They love to show off their city.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what city we're in. And the guy we still remember, we can't remember his name, is Paris in Paris.
Right.
He loved that we were from Vegas. He talked to us or whatever. And we got a lot of great information from him. But other places like OK Hi-Fi, which is a great place to hear some music on the weekends or during the week. They have lots of bands that stop through. Retro, if you like video games, like the old arcade games, it's 3 levels. On the bottom, you have a huge bar. It's like almost the entire room with lots of video games of, what's the rolly one?
The rolly one?
Yeah, you roll a ball into
you mean
the hole.
Skee ball?
Skee ball.
That's
what the? I can't remember. I was thinking about those chicken and waffles again. Oh Lord, I need.
So
some
it's like
food.
an arcade with
it's an arcade.
Skee ball, but you said they also had like Pac-Man and like
upstairs. You have Pac-Man and like Mortal Kombat, the old video games, and then the top is a really really nice rooftop bar, overlooks downtown. Really fun, and maybe the funnest place is Marty McPie's, which is. Which is, yes, if it sounds familiar.
I love the name.
It's a great pizza shop. People rave about it. It's got really good pizza, but the name is just so punny. And I love it from Back to the Future, Marty McPie's. So it's a nice place. If you want to be surrounded by art, there's Gallery 41, which is at the Art Center, and Elizabeth's, which is actually inside the Art Museum. So you like... And they have very artistic, fine dining inside an art museum.
Really?
Which is incredible.
That's neat.
I thought that was a lot of fun.
I'm a little jealous I didn't go there.
Be a lot jealous, man. I ate some great food. I'll tell you, we got to get them chicken and waffles. I'm a little mad. I don't have that right
I know
now.
you love your old fashions, and you were telling me about a great old fashioned that you had while you were down there.
If you want a very good place for underrated old fashions, Collar and Critic. Called Collar and Critic. It's actually inside the Omni, which is the luxury hotel in the area. You normally probably wouldn't think that off the top of your head, but Collar and Critic, if you want a nice old fashioned, smoked old fashioned, got me drooling over here. All right. When we come back, we're going to have more on Corpus Christi It's the Unskilled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unskilled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unskilled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, your host, here with my co-host and co-explorer, Amy.
Hi.
We're coming to you from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And thank you so much to our partners over at Diamondback Land Surveying for all of their support. We're coming to you from the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios, of course. Yay. We're talking about Corpus Christi, Texas, and all the fun you can have down there. We were talking about some favorite places to eat once you go. And there's a lot. It's so hard to narrow it down, especially when you're in a great area known for their cuisine. So, like, even though if I didn't mention all the wonderful places to eat, there's still a ton. You could just kind of throw a rock in any direction and find some wonderful food, right? And I know most of the places were in downtown, but if you're a visitor from out of town, more than likely you're going to end up in the downtown area. So if you're there with family or if it's just you just hanging out down there for some reason, you can check out some wonderful things to do. And a lot of these are super family friendly. And I've got to start with the Texas State Aquarium. Aquariums are, you and I, one of our favorite things to do anywhere.
It is. And I think it's because our son loves aquariums. He's going to school for marine biology and coastal sciences. So since he was little, that's something we did on vacations or even just if we happen to be somewhere near an aquarium. So we've kind of made it a family thing that when we travel, we go to a local aquarium in the area. And the Texas State Aquarium there in Corpus is fantastic. And
It really is.
They actually just, I think in 2017, like, added on this whole new section that makes it one of the bigger aquariums.
Yeah.
Or the biggest aquarium in Texas, from what I recall.
It's big. I'm not sure about its actual size compared to others, but I know it's incredibly celebrated. It's often listed in top 10 lists of nicest aquariums and like the conservation efforts of these aquariums and things like that. So it has a lot of history and it's got a lot of backing from the community and all of that. So it's a really fantastic time to go there. I was blown away. We've been to a lot of aquariums. And when I went in there, I had so much fun. And I'm like a big kid already in these areas. So getting to go there and like see other kids, people with their kids have fun is like, it makes the energy palpable. You're like, oh man, like you're having fun. When I went, they have a huge shark exhibit. Sharks just swimming around and, you know, the fish are in there and everything else. But they had divers in there that were cleaning the coral and everything. And they were also playing with the kids. So like, you know, they were upside down, like cleaned, like they take toothbrushes and actually scrub the coral in there.
I didn't know that.
And they were, you know, upside down doing their thing and they'd stop every little while and like wave to the kids and take pictures with them and all that kind of stuff. So they were having a good time as well. But it's really just super neat to see. And once you like go online, if you go to texasstateaquarium.org, you can see and read about their conservation efforts that also even includes ocelots.
Yeah.
Which they welcome 2 ocelots into their conservation series.
They have a wildlife rescue center,
Yeah.
so they do more than just marine life. And they, like you said, they have ocelots. I think they even have some flamingos and some other, you know, otters, which yes, are water creatures, but they're not something you think of as being at an aquarium. So this aquarium is so big on conservation and animal rescue. If that's something you're interested in, you have to check this aquarium out if you're in the area.
Yeah. The sea turtles were wonderful. They have lots of interactive exhibits, of course, dolphins and things, and a dolphin show and things like that. But it's really fascinating to go and see. And you hate that a wildlife rescue thing has to exist. And especially with the sea turtle population in that area, they often get a number of sea turtles that come up injured or something like that, which leads me kind of circling back to earlier in the show. You mentioned the sea turtle releases.
Yes.
The baby turtles get to, and you can be a part of it. They actually do public announcements. One of the rangers, whenever we went by there, was telling us about it. So they'll post public announcements saying, we think about this time right here. It's not down to a science. It's not an actual day and a time, like an hour, but they say about this time, we have all these, they dig holes and lay their eggs, turtles do, and they have them all marked, and they'll collect them sometimes to protect them and like rebury them in the sand, and they'll mark them with like red flags so everybody knows where they are. And then I invite people, and they have special rules like don't wear white, you can't use flash photography or anything like that, because young baby sea turtles, it distracts them. They think it's the sun. That's where they're going. The surf and the sun, they're heading out towards that. And so it'll distract them. And you're there to basically just kind of create this path for them to get out into the water. And they're so beautiful and they're so precious.
Cry.
Oh, please do. It's good radio. Cry for me. But it's a really fun thing. And people turn out by the thousands.
Really?
Like so much.
I would. If we lived closer, I would go do it.
I would totally go. In fact, I got invited to a press trip a couple years ago, and because of COVID, it didn't get to happen. And that was the main focus. Like, we're going there to the baby sea turtle thing. So I'm kind of upset still. Years later, I'm a little upset that never happened. But it's a wonderful thing if you can be there. People drive in from around the state to try to be a part of it and just, be in the moment with this special thing. So that's one of the best things to do in my mind. The USS Lexington is a ship that served in World War II, has a lot of history. It's now a floating museum, basically. Get out there. I love big old ships.
You do. We've visited many a old ship turned museum.
What does that mean? They have the art scene has really emerged over the last decade in Corpus. It's always been this haven, but now it's kind of been pushed to the forefront. They have tons of festivals like Art Walk and Music Walk, which it went from their first year. Art Walk was on one street and they had one stage, and the band got drunk and forgot to start on time. They were telling us this is from them. And now it's like 12 city blocks downtown.
Wow.
And 4 different stages, music's playing, vendors are out there selling art and everything. It's a wonderful time. And I loved that I got to see it and be a part of it. So anytime you can go to the Art Museum of South Texas, they have, art from Chihuly there. They got local art. They got all kinds of stuff. The Museum of Science and History, which, me, I'm telling you, I'm a big kid. I love science and history museums as well.
Yeah.
I guess it's just how I grew up.
You did go to another very interesting museum that I think
one?
Corpus is pretty... Corpus is known for this person originating from there.
Yeah.
But you went to the Selena Museum.
Yeah. I went to the Selena Museum. Selena was, of course, really the first superstar Tejano singer. She tragically was murdered when she was only 23 years old. There was a movie about it, and that's the movie that launched Jennifer Lopez into superstardom and everything. But there is a museum that's an actual working production studio with music and everything, a recording studio that the family still owns and uses. You can tour the studio where Selena recorded at least part of her English-Spanish album that was released after her death. It's never been used since then. And you can see all of her really iconic wardrobes and microphones and all of this stuff. She was you forget how big of a superstar she really was.
I remember I had the album.
Yeah.
I remember loving it, and then I remember hearing that she died. And but at the time I was younger. It didn't quite grasp what had happened. But you had said when you were in Corpus, they love Selena.
Still, yeah.
That you heard her music multiple times a day as you're traveling around the city.
Yeah.
But they're very proud of having her come from their city.
Yeah. They really are, and every birthday and every anniversary they do celebrate. You have they tell me that they have thousands of visitors. Her museum is extremely popular. In fact, we went there first thing in the morning. By the time we left, the parking lot was filled with people. And people just coming and going and paying their respects. For a lot of people, Selena was the first, especially when you get into Mexican culture, was the first superstar that they really knew. And that movie and the tragedy of her passing and everything is something that sticks with people. Even her gravesite, has fresh flowers always by people just delivering things. And there's tons of memorials around the city dedicated to her as a singer. So I honestly want you to stop by. If you go to Corpus Christi, go check it out.
Right.
It's worth the time to see how this young woman changed the face of music and paved a way for so many singers that would follow her of Mexican and Latin descent.
I know it made an impression on you because you talked about her in this museum for 2 days after you came
really did.
home. So
yeah, it's life-changing once you get to see it up close. So we hope you get down to Corpus Christi. Go to visit corpuschristi.com for more info. This is the Unscaled Travel Show. We will see you guys next time.